Shut up and sit down.
What's the story, internet? Hope everyone is having a wonderful Monday so far. I hope you're all strapped in for this one because we have some bangers to talk about. So, strap in. I hope you're ready for a long video because as quick as I talk, I bet this is going to go on forever. So, starting with Italy. Spezia 2, AC Milan 0. Spezia give AC Milan their first loss in God knows how long. But to score twice against AC Milan and be unanswered, and to go on and beat them, and where are they in the table, and to be 13th in the table, was just incredible. I don't think anyone could have predicted this before it happened. So it means that Inter Milan go top of the table because they won. It just has so many ramifications for the Serie A table. It was even a close match, like 54% to 46% possession. Spezia definitely deserved to win. They had 17 shots with 4 on target compared to AC Milan's 7 and 0. I mean, you can't even say that AC Milan had a bad side out. They had Ibrahimovic, they had Calhanoglu, they had Kessie, they had Donnarumma. It's one of those things that just makes you speechless. And hang on, I think I just saw a statistic. Oh no, I thought it was saying how many matches it's been since they last lost. But yeah, this is just an incredible result. And it leaves the door open for Inter to go to the top of the table, for Roma to catch up, for Juventus to catch up. It's incredible. Incredible scenes in Serie A right now. And on that note, Inter Milan won 3-1 against Lazio, Roma won 3-0 against Udinese, and Juventus didn't. Oh no, they lost 1-0 to Napoli. So pretty incredible weekend in the Serie A. Moving on to the Bundesliga. So the big one happened today. Bayern Munich 3, Arminia Bielefeld 3. What? Team in 16th, going up against the defending champions, a team that were already 5 points or 4 points clear and should have extended the gap. Bayern Munich had 65% possession, 19 shots, 12 on target to Bielefeld's 7 and 3. And Bielefeld were up 1-0, they were up 2-0. And even after Robert Lewandowski equalised in the 48th minute, they were up 3-1. And, oh sorry, not equalised, but answered with a goal to make it 2-1. They went up 3-1. And then Tolisso and Davies made it 3-3, but still, that is not the result that you expect from Bayern Munich. Now, it means that Leipzig could catch up to them because they won on Friday. Dortmund, they drew 2-2, so not a good result for them at all, especially since they were playing 12th place Hoffenheim. Let's see, Wolfsburg and Mönchengladbach drew 0-0, so that doesn't really help 4th place. Let's see where Eintracht Frankfurt, what happened to them. They won 2-0, so that was an opportunity for them to break in the top 4, go 3rd, level on points with Wolfsburg, ahead of them on goal difference. What happened to Leverkusen? They drew 2-2, so crazy weekend in Germany as well, because there were so many teams that could have taken advantage of Bayern's downfall, and Leipzig are really the only ones that reaped the benefits. So that being said, moving on to the Premier League, and we start with another crazy result. I want to say an upset, but with the way this season has been going on, you could make an argument that it was to be expected. Leicester City 3, Liverpool 1, and thoroughly deserved from what I saw. Possession-wise, not so much, 62 to 38% in Liverpool's favour. But what is my favourite thing to say on this show? Possession does not win you matches. So, Liverpool had 15 shots, Leicester had 11. Liverpool only had 4 on target, Leicester had 6. So, Alisson had a woeful time in the Liverpool net. And I've also got to mention the young lad Kabak, because he was at fault for at least the second goal, if not even the third one. But not a good debut for the young lad. And this means that Liverpool dropped down to 6th because of some of the other results that we're going to talk about later. So incredible scenes at Leicester Stadium. Moving on to the next one, Crystal Palace 0, Burnley 3. So this is a big result for the bottom of the table. It puts Burnley 3 points behind Crystal Palace. It puts them a point ahead of Newcastle, and they have a game in hand. So if they win, they could very well overtake Crystal Palace because they have a positive goal difference. Well, it's not positive, but they have a better goal difference to Crystal Palace. -12 is not a positive goal difference. But Burnley played very well. Possession was almost even, shots were almost even, shots on target were almost even, but they were just clinical and they got the job done. So fair play to Burnley. As I said, moves them up to 16th, a point ahead of Newcastle, and it moves them 8 points clear of Fulham. So that's a good result for them. Moving on to the next match, we have Manchester City 3, Tottenham 0. Tottenham are just in a free fall at the moment. I don't even know what to say. They didn't even have the possession. They barely had any shots. It just was woeful, and it means that City can extend their lead at the top of the table now to, what is that? Sorry, maths is not doing well in my head at the minute. 7 points clear of Manchester United, and it puts Tottenham down to 9th, only 2 points ahead of bitter rivals Arsenal. Although they do have a game in hand, but still. Aston Villa have 2 games in hand. They're level on points, so if they win even one of those, they'll go 3 points clear of Tottenham. So yeah, not a good time for Jose Mourinho or his men this weekend. Brighton 0, Aston Villa 0. So much better result for Brighton than it was for Aston Villa. And I mean, if you look at the statistics, Brighton should probably have won. 26 shots and only 9 on target, 59% possession, to Aston Villa's 4 shots, 1 on target, and 41% possession. It's a crazy statistic, especially because Aston Villa were in 8th, as I mentioned, level on points with Tottenham in with a game in hand, and Brighton are in 15th, and they will feel very hard done by not to have got the 3 points. This is a match that helps out Burnley because of that aforementioned game in hand. So on to the next one. Southampton 1, Wolves 2. Southampton had been playing so well, and then they just fell off the face of the earth. That 9-0 loss to Manchester United. They just kept on getting beaten down, and it continues. They were 1-0 up thanks to Danny Ings, and then a Ruben Neves penalty, and then Pedro Neto getting the next goal. Possession relatively even, 52 to 48. 10 shots to Wolves to Southampton's 7, 4 on target to Southampton's 3. It brings Wolves up to 12th. They are only a point ahead of Southampton, and Southampton have a game in hand, but still, I mean, they won the important one, which was the one against them. So, the next one, unfortunately, I do have to speak about it, is West Brom 1, Manchester United 1. Just a woeful performance from Manchester United, and all credit to West Brom. And it wasn't even woeful in the fact that we played particularly badly. I mean, we had possession, we had shots, 10 shots and 7 on target. And Sam Johnston comes back to haunt us, our old academy player. But West Brom, they had 7 shots and 3 on target. And it was just one of those matches where we just couldn't get the flow. Hit the post, so many missed opportunities, but it was a boring match. It was very metronomic. It just kept on put you to sleep. So just not a good match all round. But that's the thing with these teams at the bottom of the table. They are very hard to break down. They are at the bottom of the table, but that's usually due to not scoring enough goals. It's not necessarily a lack of defence. Usually once they get scored on, then they have to open up and then all hell breaks loose. But Manchester United is not set up that way. They're set up as a very counter-attacking team. And so when a team comes and just sets up shop and plays counter-attack against them, they don't know how to perform. So, and countless times I saw Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof running into the opposition half, which is fine, but it left us vulnerable, especially to their new signing. I can't remember his name. What was his name? Is it Diarra? Diarne, that was it. He caught us. I mean, he scored his first goal for them in the 2nd minute, and then kept on causing problems from then onwards. On to the next match, Arsenal 4, Leeds United 2. Arsenal were 3-0 up at half-time, and then Leeds started to creep back, but Arsenal held on and got another goal Aubameyang scored his first ever hat-trick for Arsenal, so Arsenal fans will be ecstatic about that. And it means that Arsenal are creeping up on the other teams, especially if the likes of Aston Villa, Tottenham, Liverpool keep having their blips, then they'll be able to keep going further and further up the table. So on to the next one, Everton 0, Fulham 2. I don't think anyone expected that one. No disrespect to Fulham, but they are in 18th, sorry, and Everton are in 7th and had been playing quite well. I know they drew against Manchester United, but they won in midweek against Spurs in that thriller in the FA Cup. And so I think people were expecting them to continue that against Fulham. But Fulham came, spoiled the party, and didn't let that happen. So fair play to them. It wasn't even like they got lucky either. It was 51 to 49% possession in favour of Fulham, 12 shots to 7, 3 on target to 2. So you can't even say that Everton were unlucky or Fulham were lucky. It's a well-deserved point. 3 points, sorry. West Ham United 3, Sheffield United 0. Declan Rice with a penalty, Issa Diop, and then Ryan Fredericks finished it off in the 96th minute. Yeah, I mean, West Ham deserved to win this one. Possession was relatively even, 55 to 45, but 13 shots to 8, 9 shots to 5. It brings West Ham up to 5th. They would be in 4th if it wasn't for Chelsea having the better goal difference. So keeping the European dreams alive, even if it's just Europa League, still European dream alive for West Ham. And moving on to the last match of the weekend, speaking of Chelsea, it's Chelsea 2, Newcastle 0. And yeah, I mean, Thomas Tuchel has just brought Chelsea around. I don't know what it is, if it's just the new manager shaking things up. In fact, he's German, he's got Timo Werner scoring again. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, Chelsea all around deserve to win. 66 to 34% possession, 18 shots to 10, 5 on target to 4. But it brings them up to 4th, and considering they were in 8th, 9th, maybe even 2 weeks ago, this is an incredible rise off the table. It also shows how close everyone is, because if we look between 2nd and 11th, there are 14 points. That is not a lot of points. Considering last year at this stage, Liverpool were already 20 points clear at the top of the table. So, I mean, this is a fantastic Premier League to watch from a neutral's perspective, I'm sure, not so much as a United fan, but it is a thoroughly entertaining and an incredible time to be a football fan. It's a bit like the last World Cup, where the likes of Germany weren't performing and Argentina weren't performing and Holland and Italy didn't even make it. And so it's that sort of thing where it's like you never know who's going to win on any given day. Croatia making it to the final of all things. So yeah, so that's my review of the weekend's football. After this, I'm going to record a preview because we have some Champions League matches, we have some league matches, so some midweek football to look forward to. So I'm going to record that. I'm going to try and get it out tonight, if not first thing in the morning, so we'll be ready preview for tomorrow's Champions League action. But in the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe and keeping out of trouble. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and until next time, ta-ra for now.